Hi there, guys. So today I want to talk about a bit trust. Trust is something that you build over time, and trust can play a really big part when it comes to mental health. Because if you've gone through trauma um, from someone that you really trusted, it can really, really damage you, and it makes the betrayals in your later life seem a lot worse, even when maybe they aren't as bad as you first think, because your anxiety will take over and you don't know who to trust. And I think in the corporate world, that trust is such a loose thing. Um, for instance, a manager that you might trust praises you and gives someone else that job that you probably deserved. It can it can break that trust, and also even the bond, because you feel like you should be able to trust your manager, and your manager betrays that trust and bullies you. It can leave you affected. And I think that you go one of two ways. You go the way of being an open book and not hiding anything, to or you go down the route of shut down and don't tell anyone anything. And I think it's really important to find a common ground. I mean, I still am working on that because I'm way too open with everything that goes on with me and my past life and everything. And it's probably screwed up a lot of my dating life. But also, when you shut down and when you close off those doors, you leave yourself closed off to new experiences and new relationships, new friendships. I was burned a lot with trust when I was growing up through friends. The people I trusted were the ones that bullied me. And that led a lot onto later life in terms of work, because when my manager bullied me, it was almost like PTSD. It was reliving that past trauma, which I think is what sent me down the rabbit hole as well. And I think my bullying growing up has a lot to do with my mental health now. But when you've got a relationship, whether it be friendship, work colleagues, and relationships, romantic relationships, it's very hard to break down that trust wall again, because you build that wall up so high and so reinforced that you refuse to let anybody in. And I think that's why I overshare, because if I overshare and turns out they don't like me for the stuff that I've been through, for the stuff that I do, for the stuff that I've had happen to me, they walk away quicker. And it's really hard to turn that off. And I'll tell you something, it's exhausting pretending not to care. To not tell the person that you like them. To not truly be open to things because you're scared that they'll turn around and hurt you. It's exhausting. And I'm not quite there from hiding behind that mask. I do a lot of things that sabotage myself. I try so hard not to. But it's easier than admitting that I'm lonely. It's easier than admitting that I'm so scared that I will lose friends, that I will lose my loved ones, that they will walk away. Even with the sobriety stuff, I mean, I hid myself away so much because I didn't know how people would accept me. And I guess opening yourself up to trust people again is really difficult when you've been burned so many times. But if you go into every relationship and every friendship holding those past wounds open and treating them in a way because of your previous experiences, you're never going to move on. You're never going to be able to trust and fall in love and build those relationships and build those friendships, those bonds. Not truly. I used to be so scared of what everybody thought of me. Now I don't give a shit, because the sooner they walk away, the less I get hurt. I think honestly this is the first time I'm admitting that. Out loud anyway. I think it's easier to think that you're happy on your own and you're happy with the small friendship groups that you've got. I mean, take my birthday for instance. Every year I do this meal and I invite everybody I know. And yeah, I do want everybody I know there. I do want it to be a big celebration. But also I know that if I invite big numbers, if I invite, let's say 30 people, I know at least 10 will turn up. 10 will show up for me. I mean, how fucking miserable is that? It should be that I invite 10 people and 10 people want to show up for me. But it's not. And for the most part, it's probably not that they don't care. It's probably not that they don't want to be there. It's that they have their own lives. But it's amazing how past trauma and anxiety and depression can get in your head so much that you will think it's about you. And it's not narcissistic, because I don't make the situation about me in a positive way. I'm not thinking the whole world is out to get me, and I'm not thinking the whole world is out to spite me. And I know in truth that these people are not turning up because it's me. But it's the reason that I share so many broadcasts rather than message people individually, because I'm so scared of that rejection, because I'm so scared that I will be told no. And I think it's partly why I haven't progressed in my career as well. Because I'm still building on myself, I'm still building my self-worth, I'm still finding that trust in the world that it's not such a terrible place. But that's really hard to do. And I think people underestimate how much you hurt someone permanently when you break their trust. I can't talk because, I mean, I cheated on my exes. But again, I think that leads back to my own self-sabotage in the hopes that they would find out, because then they would walk away. Because if someone walks away really early on in a friendship, in a relationship, it's a lot easier than when they walk away later on. And it might also result back into the fact that my own sexuality, that I won't accept or be in a relationship with a man because I'm scared that I'll actually be happy that way. It's amazing how most of my loved ones and the people around me have accepted me for who I am. But I haven't accepted myself. It's a journey I'm on, as I've said many times. My mental health is fairly stable. But sometimes I wonder whether it's stable because I keep myself in this bubble where I don't open up that trust. It's like even with when I have bad days, I deal with it myself. I don't let many people in. It's hard to do. And I think being a man and brought up in the time that I was, where we're constantly told to grow a pair, constantly told that we're supposed to keep things in. To be in my 30s in a time where majority of men are allowed to be emotional, those phrases aren't used anymore. But that's not how I grew up, that's not how I was built. And I'm not saying that's how my parents brought me up to be, because my parents were quite accommodating with emotions. I think that's society in general. I think that's the nature-nurture argument. But to try and adapt in that modern day is difficult, and I think that's where maybe people around the same age as me struggle to open up, and it's probably why our suicide rates are quite high. Because God forbid we try and rebuild that trust again and show that we were hurt by our past trauma. It's so easy to keep on plugging along. And I know these videos probably won't help my case when getting in a relationship, because someone can learn a lot more about me online than they probably necessarily need to know to begin with. But honestly, I don't care. I do these videos because I want people to be able to talk, and I want the world to be just a little bit more open to this. You can't keep fighting your own battle by yourself, no matter how much you want to. And one day you have to let those walls down. It's that, oh, you're on your own forever. And believe me, that's no fun. I have gotten used to my lifestyle now, where I spend a lot of time on my own. But I don't think it's necessarily that I'm happy with the way it is. I think it's more quiet defeat and accepting what my life has become. It's really difficult as well when you're always the one that messages first. Right? It's very rare for actually people to reach out to you. And even when they do, you sometimes feel like they want something, or there's an agenda, or they're bored. It's never truly for you. I air this confidence when I'm out and about. But I don't actually think I will actually have it. It's become a mask I wear to get through the day. There are things that terrify me. And rejection is definitely one of the big ones. But it's all built around trust. That first bond being broken. That bullying when I was younger. That bullying through work. Quickly taught me that I can't rely on other people. One of my best friends walking out of my life. Okay, the friendship wasn't perfect. And it probably wasn't a true friendship like I have discussed before, but it doesn't mean that I didn't care about that person and they were so quick to walk away. They found it so easy to walk away. And of course I pretended like I didn't give a shit. Still do to this day, but it hurt. It was just another trust bond that was broken and another brick on the wall that needed to go up. And it's difficult to break that back down again. And when people actually show me love and affection, I either believe it and fall in too hard, or I don't, and I keep that barrier up, and I keep hiding away because I can't face the fact that what if I get it wrong? What if I screw this up? What if it does go wrong down the line when I have built into it? Cherish the friends that you have. But if you do have a relationship with someone that has mental health illness, has past trauma, you gotta be sensitive towards that. Know that if they let you in and you break that, you're another step down the rabbit hole for them. But yeah. Anyway, I've rambled on enough, so I hope you're having a great day and a great mental health day. And I'll speak to you guys soon.